Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Acesse suprememastertv.com/schedule.
We have to move away from eating and consuming animals. Compared to all the transport around the world, including planes and everything, animal agriculture was more of a contributor to global warming. I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense.
Supreme Master Ching Hai gratefully present the Honorable Mark Pearson, the Shining World Leadership Award for Compassion, with humble gratitude, praises, and love in God's mercy. May you be protected as you try to protect the innocents.
Sveiki means hello in Latvian. I'm Elita. The people of Latvia thank you and your loving contributions to creating a better earth. Welcome to the concluding episode of our three-part series, For the Love of Animals, Australia's The Honorable Mark Pearson, vegetarian. In our previous episode, the Honorable Mark Pearson stated that most people don't make the connection between the meat they eat and the suffering it causes, nor do they realize that by eating meat, they're indirectly participating in the killing of animals. On today's program, Mark shares his thoughts on the current coronavirus pandemic. Many experts concur that COVID-19 is a zoonotic disease, a virus originating in animals and then transferred to humans. Mark, a Shining World Leadership Award for Compassion laureate, believes that to prevent future pandemics, all forms of animal abuse, including the raising of billions of animals each year for slaughter, must stop.
Because it's that interaction which is certainly behind why we're now in a conflict with our world and the viruses and bacteria coming up to bite us rather than sleep. And I think that's the other thing. The world has changed. We have to realise that we're living with these things and it's not going to go away. I mean, I'll get a vaccine, that'll mutate and I'll get a vaccine. It'll just always be sitting there waiting and mostly doing nothing until a disharmony, or the original meaning of the word disease, is where ease and peace becomes destroyed or attacked. So I'm actually quite optimistic. And I think the planet is probably giving us a bit of a lesson as well. You know, this whole idea of looking after your little corner and not contemplating what your relationship and responsibility is to the world, that has to be undone, you know, because that's central to where we've probably lost path.
Mr. Pearson sees coronavirus as a wake-up call for humans to change the way we treat animals.
I think one of the factors that's coming in, and I think this is what fits in with coronavirus, is that almost every pandemic which the world has faced has been as a consequence of our abuse and interaction, but mainly abuse of animals. So AIDS, the evidence is very strong that it came from eating, consuming the brains of primates. And the interesting thing is that animals are often vectors of viruses and bacteria. I will make sure that whatever Australian inquiry is going ahead, and I will even write to the World Health Organization, that they must analyse our interaction with animals for food and how we treat them as to how that contributed to the disease spreading around the world.
And actually there are a lot of scientists and medical professionals who are backing that up and have that stance.
So the world will change. So I think for animals and for this whole movement of waking up and becoming aware of our responsibilities to the earth and to all with whom we share the earth, you know, and I've been looking at this in another way, that if my body was to be invaded by something like a human species and how we have invaded the earth, very often low respect, removing its resources, poisoning it. If a thing was to do that to you, your temperature would go up and you would fight it and you would try and destroy it. Now, there is an argument, but more and more people are seeing the earth as a thriving, living thing. If we make it sick, we no longer have a symbiotic relationship with the earth. The earth says, no, you are an invader. You make me sick. I'm sending you away. And this could all be part of it as well. So I think your movement, the movement that the Master is driving, is extremely important because it's visionary and it's about compassion, it's about inclusiveness, and it's about a new way of seeing our relationship with the world and with the earth.
Self-sustaining viewers, we'll take a moment now to listen to some important messages. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Eco-friendly viewers, welcome back to our interview with the Honorable Mark Pearson. In addition to the current pandemic, another crisis the world is facing is climate change. According to the United Nations and many global experts, the fastest and most efficient way to halt climate change is through widespread adoption of a vegan lifestyle. Mark explains further.
And we have to move away from eating and consuming animals. Now, I've put to this House and to the Greens, and finally they've come along, that the Paris Summit on global warming, the fourth issue, which was of concern causing global warming, was animal agriculture. So compared to all the transport around the world, including planes and everything, animal agriculture was more of a contributor to global warming. I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense. So if you're going to have a cattle feedlot, then, you know, they're clearing land to grow grain, lots of water, transport the grain, long distances, cattle in all these intensive feedlots being fed grain with lots of antibiotics in it and pesticides. They get fat. Enormous amount of water goes into cattle, rearing them up to be slaughtered. Then they transport them to the slaughter, and then a whole lot of water goes into slaughter. So that much meat can only be achieved by thousands of gallons of water being used. It doesn't make sense. And so this is why, you know, Bill Gates and people who are saying we have to move away from animal agriculture, it won't survive. It can't survive. So now, you know, there's cell tissue culture happening and plant-based material happening. And so there are a lot of levels to this evolution, I think, that's evolving. So it's the new way of thinking about a new consciousness, which is what the Master is talking about. There's changing things in Parliament, there's activism on the street, there's a rethink of our health and a rethink of our interaction with animals.
As people become increasingly aware of the immense health and environmental damage caused by meat consumption, the trend toward the plant-based lifestyle has been growing. Entrepreneurs have started investing millions of dollars into alternatives to meat and milk.
They're saying that we have to invest millions and millions and millions of dollars in the alternative way of sourcing protein and other products for our survival. And of course, this is the direction we're going. Just look at the supermarkets, more and more and more and more. I'm amazed. I would never have thought that so much plant-based products are going to be available. And, even the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of Hungry Jack's, announced that it will be only a matter of 6 months, 9 months, maybe a year, and the Whopper burger will be plant-based, and you will not know. And that will help the animals. Because if less animals are slaughtered, better welfare. And it could well save us from ourselves, moving away from animal abuse.
The Honorable Mark Pearson was the second person in the world to be elected to Parliament for the purpose of animal protection. And now, Australia's Animal Justice Party is providing a shining example of compassion in government for the world. The party is now inspiring other countries to follow in their footsteps.
Well, I've been to Brazil, and they're thinking about forming a party. We've been to Turkey. There's a political party that's been formed there. So I think it's part of the overarching movement of compassion and consideration. It only makes sense to have people in Parliament standing up for those who can't speak in our society, in our environment and in our communities. And it's a long time coming, but it has arrived and it's not going.
Mark Pearson has a special message he wishes to convey to our beloved Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Thank you. Because you've had the courage to lead in this way and understand that leadership is not about standing at the top, but it's about bringing everybody together. So your insight into this and your compassion has saved a lot of animals' lives and has helped a lot of people have a much more deep, enriched relationship with each other, with animals, with the air, with the earth and with the universe.
At the conclusion of our interview, the Honorable Mark Pearson wanted to share these final words with our global audience.
I am very privileged and honoured to be able to be part of this program, Supreme Master Television. Moving towards a plant-based diet and embracing a plant-based diet will bring the ultimate peace to this world. Adopt a vegetarian diet. Be vegan to save this planet.
Honorable Mark Pearson, many thanks for your courage and tireless efforts to protect our animal co-inhabitants. May you be abundantly blessed by Providence for all the wonderful work you do. Supreme Master Ching Hai gratefully present the Honorable Mark Pearson the Shining World Leadership Award for Compassion with humble gratitude, praise and love in God's mercy. May you be protected as you try to protect the innocents. Supreme Master Ching Hai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort and support to the afflicted and needy and or any good cause over the years, as a humble vessel for hers, neutral term for his or hers, compassion and love toward his precious children. For more information about the Honorable Mark Pearson, please visit markpearson.org.au. Blessed viewers, thank you for your company today. Coming up next is Mind Body Chi Dr. Wen B. Chen's relaxation exercises, part 2 of 2, right after noteworthy news. May your spirituality and gratitude grow as you realize how fortunate you are to be on the planet during this auspicious age.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/GG.